Mina Aissatou Smile Sise, and this is now the program Talk to the Camera. Today we can at the Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs concerning the press conference where they call on the World Tourism Day, where they go inside the hall now, outside the conference that take place.
Whereby the bread and butter issues can be addressed in this country. We have a lot of talent which are untapped, and it is but vital that we meet and chart the way forward. So on behalf of the Minister, Management and staff of the Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs, let me take the opportunity for to welcome you all and for us to have fruitful deliberations. Thank you. Now, there's a small change in the agenda. It is but good for you to know the chairman of the National Tourist Board. Of course, we have the chairman of the Monuments and Relics Commission, Mr. Charlie Afna. We'll proceed further. I would like to invite the chairman of the Monuments and Relics Commission, Mr. Hafner, to make a statement.
The chair of the Tourist Board has spoken. Nobody has should surpass him in his speech, in length, in whatever. I thank you very much, sir. I agree with the thing that we must build jobs in the touristic industry. Tourism and jobs, a better future for all indeed, a better future for all. In fact, we are all tourists in some kind of way, and we don't realize it. For me, in terms of tourism, monuments and relics form the backbone. Each day, I receive comments, I receive accolades, I receive a lot of information and reminder that monuments and relics, you are the backbone of tourism. Because when tourists come, what do they see? Our history, our culture, our heritage, assets, and so on. So we must be in a position to provide them, to preserve them, to promote them, so that when they come, these are the things they will be coming to see. In other countries, of course, that's the case. Tourists come to see, to experience our life, to experience the food we eat, our architecture, our tools, and whatever we have to show them. And that has to be under the premise of the Monuments and Relics Commission, which will try as best as possible to do. We are trying and we are going a long way to do that. My interest in tourism, like I always say, two. One is ecotourism. Some people call it local tourism, natural tourism, but it's all about tourism within the country. Another country, with all due respect, sir, you mentioned the Gambia. I worked in the Gambia for 5 years, and I was very much involved with the tourism industry. And I know what tourism does for the Gambia. Gambia, if you would know, never had a hill higher than my hand. It's a flat ground, it's a bank of the hill of Gambia. 8 miles on the other side that makes the Gambia. They don't have natural resources like us, no gold, no diamond, no iron or bauxite, all the things we know and think about. We have no cash crops like cocoa and coffee and cool and water, whatever. But Gambia depends and thrives on its tourist industry. They receive thousands and thousands of tourists every year. The only thing Gambia can boast of, not even the groundnuts, because for many times, for many times the groundnuts get rotten before they are exploited. What Gambia has is sunshine, and I usually see sand. That's all they have. But they have so developed tourism that it is a country of envy in West Africa and perhaps the world. I appreciate the minister very, very much. I follow her each steps, all her travels, you will notice. She's been around the world. Recently she was in Canada and so on. She talks about tourism. And I am sure that soon we are going to be receiving lots of tourism in this country. I love my heart, and I know she's going to continue. I always consider her a very energetic woman. I used to tell Papa, you sabi talk. I wish I could talk like you. What not the favor? But I just know you can talk. I appreciate her very, very much, and I know that our efforts in promoting tourism around the world will not go in vain. I just received from social media just now, that the president is in New Haven, Connecticut. You know New Haven, Connecticut? New Haven, Connecticut is the United States. It is the home of the Army Stars, CPP and all that. When they eventually got to the United States, that was why they were based in an hour or two on top of New York, northwards of New York. That was where they were based, that was where they were tried, that's where they become free, and so on. The president is there now, and I can see from the correspondence that he is laying it for the departed, those who are sick, who are not able to return home, and he is in that way promoting tourism. So we have a lot to offer to the world. The name Sierra Leone itself is touristic. The Freetown, I used to say, itself is a museum. Just moving around Freetown, what I still want to see about Sierra Leone. So we have to promote, we have to support us, support the ministry, support the tourist board, so tourism can move forward. Also, my second point, like I said, is we must lay emphasis on tourist guiding. When we go to other countries, people take us around and they are known as tourist guides. We have them here. They are well trained. If they tell you that this pen is 1 million years and it was a pen used by the Queen's great-grandmother, we believe them. Not only believe them, but we pay money to go and see this pen. Might be correct, might be wrong. But it's tourism. The reason we believe them and support is because they have good tourist guides. We have them here. We train a lot of tourist guides for 2 years in Timagai College across the road. We train a lot of students and they are around promoting. I think we must get back to that. Train our tourist guide well. Let them be able to educate tourists who come here about our country, touristic value and importance and resources and everything. If we're able to do that, then I am sure, like the United States and China and the Gambia, we'll be able to guide our tourists and impress them by what we tell them about our country. Otherwise, I want to thank the minister for what he's been doing. I want to congratulate the chairman, sir. It's the first time we are meeting. And by the way you have spoken, and we are going to work together. In this ministry, is more of integration. There's nothing the tourist board does without the ministry and the monumentalities, and vice versa. Whatever we do, we relate, we attend our companions' activities, we support, and so on. We even sometimes exchange staff. Many times the ministry will call on our staff. If there is an area we think we have daily, we have the better staff, they call on us and they come. I go to work sometimes, why is Faye? Minister don't call her, oh, I see, why is this in our ministry, and so on. And now, right now, a lot of our staff, well, 1 or 2 of our staff are in China, sir. And the report they've been sending to us, very, very impressive. I went to Francis Momo yesterday, that I think you are doing good among your peers. Please keep it up. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, and all of you here who are meeting us for the first time, here we are, our minister, now my counterpart in the tourist board, and I want to thank you for coming, taking your time off this morning to come and support us and the World Tourism Day. When we celebrate with the world, we are part of the world. Tomorrow we are going to show it. Let us come to support, and let us together tomorrow show ourselves that we as Sierra Leoneans for tourism. Thank you.
I will now take the opportunity to invite my able minister, who we in the ministry regard as Mama Shark. Like the chairman said, she is always on top of issues. Sure. And you yourself will go, will hear it, and then you'll be the job. So on that note, I want to invite you, Madam Minister, to make a statement.
Thank you very much. Let me take this opportunity of welcoming all of you to this prestigious conference room in order to commemorate a prestigious occasion. And I also want to express my delight in seeing the number of people that have turned up. The number of people that have turned up tells everybody that tourism business is all-man business. It is not only the business of the president, it is not only the business of ministers, but it is really the business of the people. Tourism is people business. Tourism is people connection. Tourism is expression of love, harmony, peace, talent, development. That is why today in many countries the realization between tourism and peace is present more than ever before. Now, quite a lot of linkages between theories of peace and frameworks of tourism are now aligned. But this we go say now, then Bookman will talk. But in real terms, you see it. You see it because what tourism does is to present the values of people. It's to present a harmonious relationship. It's to present what society stands for. And it's also to present how societies can identify their identity, what makes them unique, the values, the culture, what we eat, what we wear, how we sing, our places, our events, our history, our international image. And really, countries that have developed tourism have been able to get very, very strong standing in the international community because they've been able to stand up for what they believe in. And maybe one may want to surmise that is it because maybe our tourism has been weak, that is why our familiar relationship seems to have some challenges even when it comes to the political landscape. Because tourism unites everyone. Because it brings us together. So that is important. Today, around the world, tourism is the fastest growing sector. In many places around the world, they will tell you that their economic base is based on tourism. If you look at many, many countries, in as much as those countries are industrialized, which means they have factories, their levels of production is high. But if you look at them, what makes them different is tourism. You take places like Kenya, they are now ranking #1 in Africa because they have spent long time in developing their tourism sector. Not to speak of some of the related islands like Mauritius. You go there today, you know, it's not only that your mouth will be full, it's also that you will just breathe a sigh of surprise. You know, you just say, that tells you how far they have gone. So now Africa has realized that part of our problem is because we have not been looking into sectors that can be able to support us economically, promote our social interaction, and give us a unique historic experience. Africa is now slowly rising to the reality. You know, in the past, most African countries have been dependent on gold, on diamond, on bauxite, on different things. And now, because of the global competitiveness, even though we have those, we can no longer compete as expected. Can you compare Sierra Leone? Can you compare Sierra Leone to other countries like Botswana? We cannot compete because we have not been able to also, even when we have our natural resources, we've not done well. And even the other natural resource of tourism, we have killed. So there is this emerging realization. Now, just almost a week and a half ago, Sierra Leone attended the very first United Nations World Tourism Organization General Assembly. Yes, I heard they went to one, but as a full member, you know, you go to places differently, but when you go there, you rarely go as a country and recognize. And that is a big hit for us. because a number of countries are looking forward to small countries like Sierra Leone. Because what they have seen is that there is a link between reducing poverty, creating jobs, increasing our revenue, to the emergence of tourism. So countries have started seeing us in that direction, that we need to use tourism in as much as we're talking about history, leisure, and adventure, but we need to use tourism in terms of responding to some of our needs. Globally, the 27th of September is slated as United Nations World Tourism Day. The United Nations World Tourism Organization was established in 1975. In 1975, it was established. And Sierra Leone became a member of UNWTO in 1980. And since then, it's in 2019 that we are really having national conversation about tourism, because we have relied on minerals, okay? So what that implies is that when they have celebrations, there are always themes which they agree on, the world, the Global Tourism Organization agrees on, and a number of activities that countries need to do in terms of commemoration. Now this year, the focus is on jobs, the focus is on employment, the focus is on skills for a better future. Tourism, employment for a better future, or a better future for all. Now what that means is that they are trying to ensure that countries now try to link unemployment to tourism, so that that linkage makes government to be able to provide the enabling environment for opportunities in tourism, culture, and entertainment to serve as a hub to reduce unemployment and develop the human resource capacity. And that is really what we are saying. Now, for Sierra Leone, we've done that in many different ways. And I can tell you the different ways. The most recent one is our giant step we've taken in the reform of the entertainment sector. Now, we all know that the entertainment sector for many, many years have been trolling on their own with a few support from the private sector. And government has not taken a mainstream strategy in terms of developing the overall capacity of the sector and ensuring that that capacity reflects in reducing poverty, creating jobs for people in that industry, and then also ensuring that they create wealth. So that is what we are saying. So about a few weeks ago, we hosted the first entertainment policy workshop. And I'm happy to report today that that workshop was well attended by artists, musicians, people in the film industry, people who are in the private industry, people who are in arts and craft. They all attended, and we are able to come out with a proposal that, of course, we're going to present to government. And I must announce that just this morning, the minister has engaged me. Where are we taking this proposal to? I think that's good news, the Minister of Finance. So hopefully he will join us in the celebration, so maybe he will be able to tell you what is going to happen. But for me, why this is important? It is important that we are all now thinking as to how tourism can respond to some of our problems, and which is really important. Now we've also taken other giant steps that has to do with small micro enterprise development in the field of arts and crafts, in supporting them, in growing those skills, in creating markets. And I'm sure by next year, we should be able to be on the main road in terms of how those things are going to be responded to. Now, we're also looking at in the near future, how we can develop our ecologies. And of course, once we develop those ecologies on those islands, on those our touristic areas where you have wildlife, where you have forests, where you have mountains, definitely those communities can generate jobs on their own. So this is how we are linking. We are linking jobs, and then we are also linking into tourism, cultural, and entertainment development. Now, of course, we all know that our president is very passionate about this, and he has not only done that through the manifesto of the new direction, but of course he has posted a delegation from tourism and entertainment. And of course, that shows the level of commitment. I am saying all of this because we are celebrating today. We will be looking at the international dimension. But then what is important to us is what local action we have taken. I think for me that is the message. What local action we have taken in terms of changing the scenario and responding to that kind of theme for this year. Now, there are many other issues when we are talking about today. We are also looking at what is the link between skills, aptitude, what is the link with job creation and employment? Do we have that link? Are there skills, are there things which knowledge which we should be able to provide through formal means, through non-formal means, that is needed in boosting the sector? I think these are the things which have been discussed. Now, one big area in looking at all of this is the area of innovation and entrepreneurship. And it's really the area of the digital economy. Today, tourism has moved from paper-based to ICT. And of course, in that area, we've also taken some steps. As I speak, we are piloting, and I'm sure the announcement will go out, we are piloting an entertainment digital platform. And of course, training on that has started, and I've been informed that that has been completed, and they are soon going to put out the announcement for the piloting by the members of the entertainment industry. And of course, we're going to work with some of the cell phone companies and our big companies of Salcam and Natcom to see how we're going to sort out the issue of availability of bundle, so that they can be able to upload whatever they have. Now, we have got 2 websites. We've got the Ministry of Tourism and 3 websites. We've got the Ministry of Tourism and Culture website. We have the National Tourist Board, and then we have the website for the Ministry for the Monuments and Relics Commission. Now, this is important because many a time I have sat in meetings where people have expressed their own personal opinion as if nothing is available in the public domain about tourism. So I want you to tell people that you want to follow us, you want to learn about us, make the digital environment your friend. We are no longer in the 80s and 90s, where we are no longer in the situation where for you to get information of Sierra Leone, you need to write a letter and then you take it to the post office. Now you can go to the internet and get huge amount of information. Now, of course, there are 2 things which we're going to talk about also. I hope you remember some time ago, we conducted a tourism census, wherein a number of you here were part of this because we were able to recruit over 200 or 250 enumerators. We worked with Statistics Sierra Leone. And I will tell you what we are seeing today. We will soon launch that, maybe in the next 2 weeks, is that very soon when we launch, you will go on the website and digitally you can locate all the hotels and restaurants, guest houses in Sierra Leone by districts, by chiefdom, and then you will locate all the cultural centers, the sites. So which means you're going to have live data. So you can print that one to give people travel maps. And this is really the first one. This is really the first one when it comes to tourism. That is completed, and of course we'll be launching that. And once we launch that, we print hard copies. But for us, the most important is for you to be able to use your smartphone. Or I don't know, people use Nokia. I don't think Nokia is in here. Your smartphones, and locate yourself where you are. Locate your cultural environment, and then you locate wherever you want to go to. And that project is actually going to be very useful to all sectors of Sierra Leone, because you can use that baseline digital geographic survey, which is going to be held on our website, or maybe we are going to link it to the number of other websites for you, just to make sure that you input what you want. So it's going to be a very useful tool. We are doing this because now people want to plan their journeys before they come to a country. They want to make sure, I want to go to Kabbalah. How do I get to Kabbalah? Is there a map? What are the signposts? Which towns am I going to go through? What is the mode of transportation? So what I'm saying is that in as much as we are small, but we've taken very big strides in order that we can be part of the digital world. And we also have a tourism app which can be downloaded from the Google Store. When you download it, there are components. When you go there, you see a lot of stuff. So I think this is really the way to go. When we're talking about this is really the way to promote tourism. Now, that again has its own advantages. It will create businesses for the entertainment industry. If you have a digital platform, of course, that one will give an opportunity. People will buy your product on there. And of course, people will make friends there. People will find jobs from there. So it comes with its own advantage. Now, so today is, I should say historically, it's the biggest World Tourism Day celebration in Sierra Leone. Last year, we had a little celebration, but it was just like press, we did not do a press conference. I think it was just a panel discussion. But this is the largest, and this is the first celebration which is going to involve the whole of Sierra Leone. Notwithstanding, we are not saying the rest of the country will not be involved. But because this is the first that we are organizing in this way, it's going to be our pilot and going to set the model for subsequent celebrations. And of course, it's going to give us an idea of how that is going to be replicated across the whole country. And I must say, by next year, what we are doing in Freetown will be done in the regional headquarters simultaneously. So, because I know there will be questions about why is it that it's not happening in Bo, in Kenema, and in Makeni. I think so that is important for us to know. Now, we have been able to put together a planning committee, and I must use this occasion to thank members of that planning committee and to thank my staff, those in the Tourism Directorate, for the amount of work that they've put into this planning. Now, the planning committee comprises of members of the entertainment industry, the tour guide association, the tour operator, the hospitality industry, the arts and crafts industry, the tourism schools and hospitality. It has also entailed some other ministries, the women groups. So it's a large group. So I want to pay homage to them for the time they spent in coming to the ministry to put this program together. And of course, you must have heard the jingles. The jingles have been very good because of the fact that the number of people who call me, oh, we have a jingle. My response is, you are invited. Don't wait until I call you. So my message to everybody is that once you hear the jingle, you are invited to the program. Come tomorrow. If you don't have a T-shirt which we have produced, make sure you come with your white T-shirt in your bag. So if I don't give you one, you can wear one. So I think this is that's really the spirit. And the program is has been lined up, and I think for us it's good. But before I go to the program, I want to pay homage to the media. Now, you see why the media is very critical in tourism.
Definitely.
If anybody tells you that you want to do tourism without the media, you have failed. Because I cannot sit here with all my guys over there and we just speak to ourselves. Media is a very important tool to tourism. Because now we are fighting a number of things. We are fighting the terrible image of Sierra Leone. It is only when we read the stories, both in the print, electronic media, although social media sometimes can be hazardous, but they have to exist. It is through the media that all of this information is going to go out and everybody is going to follow us. And also, it is also through the media that we are going to have a situation where everybody is going to glue to the radio tomorrow to hear what is happening. In fact, now you have special courses on media tourism. And I know I have a promise for them, but we will talk about that promise. That promise will be fulfilled. You know, I'm saying this because if the media is not positive about what we are doing, I think our efforts will go down the drain. Because they are going to be our mouthpiece. The other thing is that we require of them to report accurately, correctly, and then also to make sure things which are not clear, they check, they cross-check, they double-check, and they triple-check. So that we have the communication right. Because if we are thinking of development, we now have a very strong partnership. And sometimes, in fact, when I'm on interviews, I assess the media personnel themselves that are interviewing me. Because you know I'm a teacher. There are questions which you ask me, I know you don't know anything about it, that's why you ask me that question. Sometimes I just try to be diplomatic because I am no longer the way I used to be before. Now I'm a minister, so I have to make sure that I accommodate a lot of things, even if I don't want it. Now, so I mean that is important really, so that you ask the right questions, and let us be positive in the questioning. And I think one of the things, I don't work for IMC, I'm not a Minister of Information, but in my head, I've been in this country since Adam. I know media that are specialized in divisive media. Their questioning technique is a disaster. I'm serious. Because, you see, if you're trying to develop something, you see, I am an expert conflict management. What helps is when you move on. You have to move on. You don't allow the past to affect your future. We have all moved on. So it's like I'm doing this and then probably you want to ask me questions about, in the past, why did this happen? I want you to ask me in the present, what are you doing in the future? That's the kind of question that we want. And I think these are things which we need to learn because we have to move Sierra Leone. No one person can move Sierra Leone. It has to, we all have to move Sierra Leone together. In as much as we have political or whatever differences, those are temporary. Those are not permanent. They are never permanent. So we have to move on and let's look at the future. Now on that note, I know my media friends will be saying, well, don't worry, don't mind me, we are all friends. So we need to move on. And I also want to say, some media houses are still in a campaign mood. They don't believe They don't believe that we've moved on. They are still in a campaign mood. So we need to talk to these people. Campaign is over, everything is over, we need to talk about development. Sure. Ask us questions. Ask us questions about what we want to do in the future. Ask us questions about how we are moving these processes forward. But don't ask me questions wherein I will have to go and start to talk about old things and start to bring bad memories. And I think there are some that are cut out for that. This is just my assessment. So I think we need to move Sierra Leone forward. We need to be positive. We need to ensure that the good image of Sierra Leone is portrayed. Because for far too long, there are things which they have characterized Sierra Leone. Bad image, either during the war, Ebola, mudslide. Some of these things are not a creation of us. These are things which by nature and by where we find ourselves, we become victims of it. Bad image. Second, we'll be struggling about visas. All over the world, if you look at some of the research and things that have gone on, one of the things that have beat down Sierra Leone in tourism and business is visa availability. Now, through His Excellency and His vibrancy, today we can talk about visa on arrival, which is a big thing we celebrate today. Visa on arrival, of course, we all know what that means. You can come to the airport, and then you can pay whatever, and then you can come into Sierra Leone. But for me, I am really happy for the diaspora, because our people abroad have suffered. Because some of them are staying far away from where we have our embassies. They cannot afford to travel there, spend the night, go back, pay DHL, just to get a visa. Instead, they will sit down and say, okay, I will just send the message. Because when we travel, they say, that money, I will send it instead of wasting it back and forth. But now, they will only have to buy their tickets and come to Sierra Leone. And I think these are some of the benefits of the things which we really are doing. Now, with regards to the hotels, things are going generally satisfactory. And of course, the chairman is here. And of course, we are trying to see how they can improve on their services. And of course, the cost of hotels. We are working on that as well. And hopefully, things will normalize when it comes to the issue of hotels. So there are many things we can celebrate. Because on a day like this, it's not only the theme, but as a government, as a ministry, as a people, through your own collective efforts, individually and collectively, we all have to own these achievements. This is not achievements alone by the minister. The minister is just a figurehead and drives the leadership. But the achievement is by all of us. All the media people that have supported us, thank you for this year. All the entertainment people that have supported us, thank you. All the tour operators, all the different people that have supported us. A day like today, when we are having celebration, we need to come back and to say thank you. And to thank His Excellency, the President, for putting tourism number one. Putting tourism as one of the economic diversification sectors. Because what has been lacking is the political will to move tourism forward. So we need to thank all of these people. The international community, the World Bank. By next year, you will feel the World Bank in tourism. By next year, you feel their presence. You will feel their presence, okay? So which is also something which is good. And many other UN agencies like UNDP and all of those people. So I should say that many things are going to happen between today and tomorrow. Many things are going to happen. Now, we have a list of programs, a list of activities, which is all over the place, I am sure, about our activities and programs. There is a jingle. Now, I will just quickly talk about what is going to happen just for the purpose of our people who are not in Freetown. Now, we're going to have, of course, you all know about the float parade tomorrow. It's starting at 9 o'clock. We will all assemble either inside the National Museum or assemble in the Peace Monument, because because of the traffic. So when we go, we wait in those two places. Once we get the appreciable crowd, and of course, we will take the route. We start the parade, the float parade. We're going to have some school band. We're going to have some cultural groups. We are going to have, I think, I know they are telling me they have brought boo-boo as well. So people will dance. And of course, we're going to have 4 school band. Maybe we'll have the Sierra Leone police band, maybe, because I need to confirm with them now. So we have, and then of course we have the artists and everything. So that is what is going to constitute, and we have been able to do banners with just the theme and some sub-themes. And then we've printed t-shirts, good number of t-shirts. And of course, later today I'll be meeting with members of the committee, the planning committee, to see how those t-shirts will be distributed. That is one. Then 2, we're going to take a huge chunk of t-shirts to town before we start. So we will give people that, because we don't want to give people our t-shirts and then the next morning they have a change of heart and they don't attend. So when we give the t-shirts, you should come with a contract. So those who are starting, we give them this evening. And then for the general public, please come. You have t-shirts there. We give you t-shirts. So we're going to march on to, the police have actually given us the route, but I don't have the details here. They will be with us. We're going to march from Cotton Tree at 9, and hopefully by 11 or 11:30 we should be at the Niata foyer or the Niata Conference Center. And when we go there, we'll have a formal ceremony of the day. We'll all be seated. We have speeches, we have theme song, and then we have thank you song. I think these are the ones that will happen in the morning. And then we'll be there maybe until about 2. We'll retire. And then all of us will be there at 5 for the general entertainment performance. It's free. Can you imagine? We are bringing the brand ambassadors here, seeing it free. So people are invited to celebrate with us, because we want people to appreciate that tourism is growing. Yeah? So we'll have that. And then of course, in addition to that, we have the exhibition of arts and crafts. And I'm sure some banks will be joining us. And of course the hotels will be joining us as well in the exhibition there. And which means that it will be alongside the whole event. Theirs will continue until the 28th. Then they will be able to unmount their exhibition. Now on the 28th, we have 2 events. That is the city tour, and of course the tour and island excursion. Now I know you have the details, but I want to appeal to people to buy the tickets. Now as it is, we have just done the arrangement 50%, waiting to see how many people have expressed interest until Thursday morning. Thursday morning, or let's say up to Friday tomorrow, to see how many people have expressed interest to go on the excursion. Once we get those details and we see we have appreciable number of people, and of course we're going to make sure that we continue with the event. Now, as part of this press conference, we are going to just move quickly to Niata Conference foyer, where I'm just going to give a quick speech to open the exhibition, because the exhibition has already been mounted, and we just want to give a short opening statement. It's just about 5 minutes there, and then after which my own side of the engagement will end for today. And of course the other activities that are going on with Visit Sierra Leone in terms of the training and 1 or 2 other activities, you can contact the Secretariat, then they will be able to tell you. I think these are the issues. Now I am going to another important event, activity, as part of the World Tourism Day organization. Now, we all know that tourism is highly integrated, multi-layered, and is highly multi-dimensional. So which means that tourism has core components, and that without those components, the industry itself will not survive. And one key area is the area of cultural monuments. Now, we all know we have the Monuments and Relics Commission. And of course, they also have been doing very well. I know we've had some kind of setback because the extent to which we want the funding or the amount of things we need to do sometimes pose challenges. But no matter what it is, they've been able with us to do quite a number of good work. One is the renovation of the clock tower in Bond Island. I'm sure you must have seen the pictures around the internet or across newspapers. And very soon we'll be launching, we'll be unveiling the new clock tower in Bond. Another important activity which has been done by the Monuments and Relics Commission is the construction of the jetty at Bonds Island. That is being supported by the United States Embassy. Now, a jetty has been constructed, and of course, we will move some people when we are ready. I'm trying to see if seaboat companies will help us when we are ready to go to see what boat support we can get. But then we will let you know when we are going there for the unveiling or launching of the jetty. And the other good news is that by the time we are launching the jetty, hopefully the restoration work of Bonds Island would have started. So which means you will have an opportunity of seeing Bonds Island firsthand. Bonds Island, as the chairman of MRC has said, is one of the most historic islands in the world. It has a lot of meaning with regards to slavery, slave trade, and the significant contribution which slaves of Sierra Leone made to the United States, or made to the New World, or made to Britain. So it's important. When you go there, you'll be able to see monuments that will look like dungeons, where they were taking slaves through. You cannot separate African American history with the history of Africa. Now, in some countries, for instance, if you go to Senegal, you have the Gorée Island. And Gorée Island has developed so much. Now you have an institute there. And a lot of people come from abroad to go there. And I think this is very significant for us. Now, going forward, I had a big surprise yesterday. And of course, the surprise is their contribution to the World Tourism Day. And I'm going to take this opportunity to launch the very first Monuments and Relics Commission newsletter. The very first Monuments and Relics Commission newsletter. And on that note, and on behalf of the presidency and everybody that has supported tourism, monuments, relics, and culture, we are dedicating this newsletter to the efforts of all of you in Sierra Leone. That you should be with us. This is our business, and we should be together in growing this industry. So I now formally present and launch the Monuments and Relics Commission newsletter, July 2019. Let me thank you all. Hope to see you, be with us. That is what will give us the courage to continue. If we don't see you in supporting all of us, one day we will be tired. So let me thank you once again.
Hello, welcome to this interview. Your name and know that you be.
My name is Milton Koka, but the common name na Collabo, the president of All Stars and part of the organizing team for celebrate this World Tourism Day at the Ministry of Tourism and Culture.
Somebody will go to listen go want for no say why because you belong to the entertainment industry there we see una collaborate with the Ministry of Tourism for organize this particular day. What is the relationship between una with the minister right now?
First of all, the Ministry of Tourism na part of now we own direct line ministry na entertainment, because when you talk about entertainment, everything within the happen around the is being managed by the Ministry of Tourism, and entertainment now one of the greatest pillar for the contribution of tourism. We are in everything can happen, but if we not get people the way they sell them, I don't feel say it will able reach there. So me can always relate to we as the greatest tool how we can able sell with touristic sites them, enable make we tell the world say Sierra Leone get an enabling environment for invite investors and other people them, because when we do our music, we do videos them videos they will put on social media every side, the world they see them, then they see say yeah, Sierra Leone a fine place, because that this don't they happen a place like Brazil, Trinidad, Tobago. Everybody, the Americans want to go to Brazil just because they want to go celebrate, then get a festival. So now the same thing we feel say the entertainment able for do for rebrand the entire salon. Over the years they don't they watch salon, they call we the name of the sabi for we that Ebola country, mudslide country, blood diamond country. But we believe say with entertainment able change the face and rebrand the entire Sierra Leone. Tell people say Sierra Leone we get the enabling environment. Sierra Leone, we get that good hospitality. We can able encourage people them, and we get that open hand to everybody, strangers. Let them come, do it in and get for do ya and then go back.
And as you talk just now, you make measure of with the entertainment when I go able for rebrand Sierra Leone. And I go want to make you tell people how una go do that.
Well, I will go do that. One, music is the fastest and easiest means for communicate. I feel say salon, to be specific, will get about 15 to 20% literate people the way they understand. We are in the 70% or 75%. They no go book. So with music in the cut across, take into consideration we like me as an artist, I dey emphasize on my local content. Na Mende I dey sing in. The last person at Kaila Mpujong, he will really understand me pass if even then just put on English and so that's don't automatically affect how we music can able for reach out to people and to the Western world. Let me say if one for talk about Bones, the place they are Bones nice, we get that kind of island. Now we'll go shoot video day. We put a play everywhere. People then see them, then able for come. So then can say yes, we get place like Usai war be don't come, Usai slave trade be don't day, Usai then can go the slave them, Usai sing be peer be then they by bure all lentin in the we able sell and through we music or video clips. Now I make we the talk and say we the entertainers, music to be specific, get a very significant role for play na the tourism sector. Now that make could join everybody today. Let the world know say we are part of this celebration, and we want back for law stand out. Let Sierra Leone stand out there. Let the world know say Sierra Leone will get a very good touristic. We'll get one of the best beaches in the world. They're not going to count 10 at the world. They're not count Sierra Leone. So all that's need for sold out to people. Like we the Mami they talk about Banjul. Banjul na beach no more in Granite. Then they we get everything. The mineral, the gold and diamond don't fail in this country here. Now no more be the pamper. Now we want the required skills through the informal sector. Waiting to I say the required skill, that means every side in our education. If you didn't have the entertainment side, you capacitate yourself, you haste the bars, you can able compete with every other country. Nigeria before this time they call them 419 country. But now with the whiskey, the Davido, Tiwa Savage, and the movie industry. They don't grow everywhere you go in the world. Nigeria did it, and everywhere people they celebrate Nigeria. Now Nigeria industry don't able for rebrand the entire Nigeria within they up there. If you check now, then GDP 2015 over 12% of the Nigeria GDP the return now from the entertainment industry. So we industry na the entertainment and salon na a money making machine, not only selling. And that money making machine, if government puts emphasis, they're able to concentrate small. Imagine the amount of jobs so able for na this country. Over 200,000-400,000 youths them who don't employ them directly, some indirectly. The people they when they in movie, the people they in theater, we the musicians them, we fans them, the one they wouldn't they live from, we the dancers, we boku. So we just want to let government pay attention, talk to the corporate world, then go into bargain, other things, then so that they can able consider say like how other country then the corporate world they sponsor we. Then we can able for push for entertainment, we able rebrand Sierra Leone, we able sell Sierra Leone, and we message not go able just reach the. I feel say we in the media we get that synergy because we can sing, we can do our videos, but would I go play them? Now the media, would I then go able for air out? Now the media. So as that synergy there, I feel say we and now we get this particular work here for law sell salon. We all will be under tourism. So my plea to the public is let's come together. We get a huge job. Me and you now go able to make clear the tourism. We salon tourism look attractive to people in Following Camp.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Interview your name and know that you be.
Mina Aruna Wahid Dumbuya, popularly known as Wahid, Sir Wahid, the musician.
Okay, we know say tomorrow thank you for celebrate the World Tourism and Cultural Day, and I go want to make you tell me something about what that means to own within the entertainment industry.
First of all, as an entertainment industry, we line ministry way governments that officially make known to winner tourism. I think most of the activities they've been coordinated through the tourism ministry, and one thing the minister don't they do now that we are not guests here in this program, we are not guests now, we all organize, coordinate for make people and come, because I think the realization say working together with your partners, you understand, it help for achieve more results. And we think if we talk about bringing income in this country, lots of countries has done it in the past with food and tourism, and they generate so much money for the government, you know. And I think we can always mention what good luck Jonathan do in Nigeria for rebrand the Nigerian music and film industry. Now as a return, lots of people want for Nigeria, because before there be no Nigeria as a ritualist country, 419 and other things there. But now when you think of the Davidos, the Wizkid, everybody wants to go to Nigeria because of waiting the musicians that they put out there. I think we have the opportunity necessarily. We have lots of talent in this country, both in the movies, in comedy, in music. You know, I think the tourism, they put all those together now for showcase waiting we get in the country. So as a result, we are close. And I think if the world is celebrate Tourism Day, Sierra Leone, we're part of the world, we're part of that tourism world. So I think it's a boost for be a part of for celebrate, for join the world for celebrate, but more especially for show, use this celebration for show waiting we get for sell out to the world in Sierra Leone.
And also this theme for the CIS, so the contest get on job creation. So what do you want for the Minister of Minister of Tourism and Cultural Affairs do for say una self within the entertainment industry not left out as the team they focus on job creation?
I think that this area now they help more and they contribute more in that area there, because the music industry has been creating for jobs for Sierra Leoneans for a very long time now. I remember during the days of Pakaba, going for End the War, they say let them pick up the mic, let them sing. You know, some of we the sing against government. They say let them pick up the mic and sing, as long as they drop the guns. And then because during the period after the war, you know, there were not jobs, so lots of people came into the entertainment industry, music industry specifically, you know, and then lots of youth were employed. Because imagine when you do a show, if you do a show in the National Stadium, you get for employ so like 15 to 20 musicians, and those musicians they have dancers, you know, and each of those people people who they mentioned, so then get family, you get for higher set, then people do their internet sets, then they, do you know how many people you're creating a job for just one show where you host the national stadium? So that is what we've been doing. It has been a self-generating, income-generating industry. So when you link that to tourism, I think it gives more advantage to tourism, because now we're talking about loans and other things, and we run our own program them effective. It means as we become more professional, as we become we will make more money, so we create more jobs. And then there are other areas again where the tourism industry don't notice, like we talk about the fashion, the themes, and other areas that wouldn't they incorporate. So I think the jobs is what we need in this country. I think with the left farm too much now the other sectors them, the mineral people we depend on mineral in this country, where over the years not only create so much jobs, there are other walks of lives, but we need for tap every corner we will get for make sure say job in the country. And I think say the entertainment is one big area we will provide jobs for young people.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now don't listen to waiting the Minister of Tourism and Cultural Affairs, where now Madam Memunatu Pratt don't talk about waiting they don't plan for the World Tourism Day. Me we carry this program to una today. Me your name na Aisatu Smaisise. Until we meet again to another edition of the program Talk to the Camera, I say tata.